Hi, everybody. Happy end of week 12, beginning of week 13 coming up. I wanted to just give a quick walk through last week's assignment, talk a little bit about that this week, and then looking ahead to week 13, which we're about to start. So, I have graded everything from week 11, the discussion on digital humanities, and then the paper. And I just wanted to shout out a little bit on those papers. Some good work on your all's part by some of you in terms of focusing on answering the prompt question, which is where do you see the digital humanities going, both within the humanities and in other fields. So some of your papers showed you having read some stuff, found maybe some new material, and then being able to make application. Some of that application was as broad as, technology in general and how much we've used it in different ways, everybody during the pandemic. But a lot of good examples of literature and tools for teaching literature, ways that can happen differently, ways we can look at history differently. Architecture came up. So the best papers were specific in the way that they were able to answer that prompt, and those were very interesting to read. I think the initial materials that were in the module were a little bit dated. I don't think anything was later than 2010. So what you found to bring to the paper kind of updated things a little bit, and that was great. And the main thing I want to say about this week is kind of an apology that these sources listed in your essay assignment to read, that they're hard to cite because all of the information isn't there. That's something I'm noting for whenever and whoever rewrites this course, but this one in particular, defining interdisciplinary studies. It's obviously a chapter from an ebook, but I spent some time searching around trying to match up that chapter to something I could find it and couldn't find it. So you're just not going to be able to use the author's name and the date. You're going to have to use the title there, the ND that means no date, and I think it tells you that it's published by SagePub or something like that. But that's about as much as we can get. And then others of these are give you a little more, but still not enough. So obviously I'll have to be kind of lax on looking at the work cited this week, or it's APA, so the reference page this week. I've conferenced with a couple of people, like video conferenced about their papers, which is where I want to put our attention next. Week 13 is all about your papers. And one of the things that's come up that I've heard from a couple people, and I agree with, is that it's hard to go back and forth from AP to MLA, AP to MLA. And at least with your paper project here, you get to settle on one and stay. But I hear that and I appreciate it. I think the intention by the original builders of the course was that some people in it would be moving on to a communications concentration where they would use APA, and then some would be moving on to the more English or film related concentrations that would use MLA. So they wanted everybody to get kind of comfortable with both. Not so sure that will remain true as the whole degrees being revamped. But I will certainly bring it up to anybody who asks for feedback on this course, and if I'm involved in any rewrites. So, heard that. Your attention this week, all about this research paper. No new material, nothing to read other than what you're reading for your research, and just get a draft turned in here. And now that's as full of a draft as possible, because you want me to be reading for how does the whole thing hold together. And so if you just turn in a couple, 3 pages, I can't really do that. I can say that the thesis looks good, you're moving in the right direction, and you proved this part of the thesis, but not that the whole thing's working out. If anybody wants to talk through your plan, just let me know. We'll set up some kind of a Zoom time. I'm in the midst of doing a lot of that with the undergrads, but by the time I get your drafts, I should be done with them in terms of drafts and in a nice lull where I'm just waiting for their final papers. So I'll be able to give good attention to these, starting as early as the weekend. So if some of them come in early, they might get some early feedback. Hope you're hanging in there okay. It's a stormy, blustery day in Northwest Ohio. I hope it's sunshiny where you are. And be in touch this week as you, get those drafts together. It's the final step, and you've made it this far, and you're going to be okay. All right, have good weeks. Bye-bye.